The YF-23 has returned from the ashes and brings warnings that have Pentagon generals trembling. This is not the same plane as before. It is a powered-up version that defies the laws of physics. So stay, because today we break down every ton of power that this fighter is unleashing on the runway. It is simply brutal. But before that, make sure to subscribe, activate the bell, and leave your like. Let's start. Let's talk about realities that seem like a movie. The YF-23, originally nicknamed Black Widow 2, was always the ugly duckling that was actually a war swan. In January of this year, satellite photos of the testing zone in the Mojave Desert were leaked, sending everyone running. It was not a camera error. It was the unmistakable silhouette of this plane flying again. We are talking about a beast that weighs about 15 tons empty. But when fully loaded for war, it can reach 34 tons without messing up its hair. To give you an idea, it is as if you put two cargo trucks flying at a speed that breaks the windows of houses. The warning it is launching is clear. The design of the 90s was so advanced that today's planes look like toys beside it. The Pentagon is using these old airframes to test the air combat system of the future because, simply put, there is nothing with less radar trace than this apparatus. The true magic of the YF-23 is not just in how pretty it looks, but in how it tricks physics. In tests conducted in February of this 2026, this plane demonstrated that it can reach a supercruise speed of 1,700 kilometers per hour without using the afterburner. That means it can cross an entire country in the blink of an eye without wasting extra fuel and, most importantly, without releasing that brutal heat that gives away other planes. And here comes into play a factor that many forget: broadband stealth architecture. The YF-23 was designed with continuous curves and a totally smooth upper surface that makes it almost invisible even to long-wave surveillance radars, something the F-22 and F-35 still struggle with today. Its flattened profile disperses radar waves as if they were water on oil, instead of reflecting them back to the source. But the true hidden gem that has resurrected military interest is its weapons bays. Being much more elongated and deeper than those of any other modern tactical fighter, they allow housing the new generation of ultra-long-range air-to-air missiles and hypersonic missiles that simply do not fit in current planes without carrying them hanging under the wings, which would ruin their invisibility. Basically, this plane can shoot from farther away, run faster, and remain hidden much longer than anything flying in the skies today. The engines it carries are the General Electric YF-120. Each of these engines generates a power of 35,000 pounds of thrust. If you add the two, you have 70,000 pounds of force pushing you toward the sky. It is a sensation that, according to test pilots, makes you feel that the plane has no limits. All this is possible thanks to the S-shaped intake ducts, known as serpentine ducts, which completely hide the compressor blades from enemy radars looking head-on, a concealment technique that remains unsurpassed. Its design is so crazy that it does not need those moving fins on the engine exhaust to turn fast. Its diamond-shaped wings and V-tail, which by the way has a wingspan of 13 meters, allow it to make tight turns that would leave any rookie pilot fainting. What has driven military engineers crazy this year is the heat signature. The YF-23 has the engine outlets on the top part of the body, protected by special ceramic tiles and elongated cooling trenches. This makes it so that, from below, heat-seeking missiles see absolutely nothing, since the hot air mixes with cold air and dissipates over the fuselage before exiting. It is as if the plane were an ice ghost crossing the sky. In simulated combat maneuvers last week, the YF-23 managed to shoot down several F-35s simply because the radars of the latter could not fix a clear target. Imagine the faces of the generals watching their most expensive plane being humiliated by a design from 30 years ago. And there is a secret that explains why this return is so urgent and has strategists drooling. The flight range of the YF-23 completely humiliates that of the F-22 Raptor. While the Raptor is a sprinter that needs a tanker plane every few hours, the Black Widow was designed as a marathon runner with gigantic fuel tanks integrated into its fuselage for deep penetration missions. In the current Pacific scenario of 2026, where bases are thousands of kilometers away, this capability to fly, fight, and return without refueling is the difference between victory and running out of gas halfway there. Analysts confirm that this plane is the missing link that the Air Force desperately needs to dominate distances that no other fighter can cover. Furthermore, relying on vulnerable aerial refueling tankers is a massive weakness adversaries target, but the Black Widow eliminates this critical liability entirely. By operating independently deep inside hostile territory, it removes the logistical chain that usually reveals attack vectors to enemy radar systems. This unprecedented autonomy allows it to strike targets that felt safe behind layers of defense, effectively rewriting engagement rules and forcing rival nations to completely overhaul their defensive strategies to account for a ghost striking without warning. But before I continue telling you how this plane is rewriting the rules of the military game, I want you to get your feet wet. Do you think the Army should stop spending on new planes and simply rebuild all the YF-23s they have stored? Leave me your comment down here right now. I want to know what you think since you know about this. And let's continue. This does not end here. What is coming is madness. The real reason why the YF-23 is back in this 2026 is because of its load capacity and extreme stealth. While modern planes struggle to carry large missiles without being detected, this monster has a giant internal bay. It can carry up to 8 long-range missiles hidden in its belly. We are talking about missiles that can hit an enemy more than 160 kilometers away without the rival knowing what hit them. In the test missions of this month, it was revealed that the plane has been updated with a state-of-the-art computing system. Now, the brain of the plane can process millions of data points per second, connecting with satellites and drones to create a perfect map of the battlefield. But what really has the Pentagon trembling is that this plane is the perfect platform for laser weapons that are under development. Its size allows it to carry energy generators that other smaller planes simply cannot withstand. The warning for the Air Force is a reality check. Sometimes progress is not a straight line. The YF-23 was so superior in 1991 that the world was not ready for it. But now, with the threats of new quantum radars, its flat and smooth surface design is the only one that keeps working. It is a plane 20 meters long that on an enemy radar screen looks like a fly. That is not technology, that is engineering witchcraft. The generals are seeing how this comeback is forcing a change to all air tactical manuals written in the last decade. What is really driving analysts crazy in this 2026 is how the YF-23 handles aerodynamics without traditional moving parts. While other planes have to deploy ailerons that break their stealth to turn, this monster uses an airflow control system that keeps its surface smooth as a mirror. We are talking about a structure measuring 20 meters long and 13 meters wide, built with a secret mix of carbon fiber and polymers that absorb radar waves instead of bouncing them. Furthermore, data from this month's tests show that the plane has been equipped with an electrochromic coating. This means the plane can subtly change color to camouflage itself with the tone of the sky, whether at dawn or in the middle of the night. It is a warning that makes it clear that visual combat has also been mastered. With a maximum weight of 34 tons, this bird moves with an agility that defies logic, proving that its original design was literally decades ahead of its time. The Pentagon has discovered that integrating artificial intelligence into this old platform is much more effective than building a drone from scratch, because the flight stability of the YF-23 is simply incredible. A fact that has left military experts with their mouths open this year is its cryogenic smart skin. This system uses liquid helium under the paint to erase heat, turning its 15 tons into a giant antenna that listens to enemy radars before being detected. It is the perfect connection between body and mind for combat. What has really left Pentagon generals with square eyes in this 2026 is the integration of a 6th-generation software architecture inside this classic fuselage. The YF-23 now works with a sensor fusion system that allows the pilot to see through the plane itself. Thanks to 6 high-resolution cameras distributed throughout the body, the combatant has a 360-degree view, which means the enemy has nowhere to hide. We are talking about processors that can perform trillions of operations per second, identifying targets more than 300 kilometers away before the enemy radar even detects a suspicious signal. But the thing does not stop there. Let's talk about the details of its physical structure. This plane uses a ceramic matrix composite material that withstands temperatures of over 1,100 degrees Celsius without deforming. This is vital because when flying at speeds of Mach 2.2, air friction heats the nose of the plane until it glows, but with this material, that heat signature dissipates in seconds. Additionally, its fuel system has been redesigned to act as a liquid coolant that runs through the entire skin of the plane, absorbing heat from electronic systems and expelling it in a controlled manner. It is a level of engineering that weighs an incredible 18 tons just in support and defense systems. Another brutal military fact is its ability to act as a field marshal in the air. In maneuvers conducted last week, This plane simultaneously controlled a swarm of 12 combat drones, assigning them attack missions while it remained invisible in the rear. The warning is devastating. The YF-23 has not only returned to fight, it has returned to conduct the orchestra of modern war. Its internal bay has been modified to launch hypersonic missiles that travel at 5 times the speed of sound, a load that weighs close to 2 tons and that no other stealth fighter can carry internally without being exposed. It is basically a platform of mass destruction that flies faster than lightning and is quieter than a whisper. The power of its electric generators is now 1 megawatt, enough to power a directed energy weapon capable of frying the circuits of any missile that tries to get close. It is simply invincible. In short, the return of the YF-23 is the most shocking event in military aviation of this decade. It is a machine that defies time and has returned to bring order to a sky full of technological promises. The Black Widow 2 has claimed its throne in this 2026, and the warning is clear. He who hides best, strikes best. What do you think? Is this plane the piece the Army was missing to be invincible? Leave your answer in the comments right now. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell, and leave us a big like to support our content. Until the next mission.